Absolutely gastastic, lads and lasses. How's it going? It's the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United with a match reaction for you for the Chester United game versus Arsenal tonight, which has finished 2-2. I mean, we needed to win this game. I don't care if Arsenal are looking decent this season, if, they've had a resurgence since a new man's come in, and that's given them the boost that they were missing, and they look a much better outfit this. I don't give a shit about that. This is United at home. We needed to win this game. I mean, how far? We're like 8 points behind Arsenal. Behind shitty Arsenal. Behind the Gooners, man. They sort of turn their problems around by the appointment of a new manager. That's exactly what Manchester United needs to do, because we've got that Portuguese Mr. Binho in charge who's having a complete mare. Why is United lacking in so many departments? No creativity, no bollocks, no determination. I mean, I thought we were all over the place tonight. Arsenal, in my opinion, were the better team. You know, it pains me to say that, but I think they were the better side tonight. They could have easily gone on to win the game. I didn't really see United winning this game. We actually started the game okay, but I must say, I thought that the general performance of both teams, Arsenal should have won that game. We were lucky in the end to come out of it with a draw, but that's just the Jose Mourinho Manchester United side at the moment. Toothless, lacking creativity, and just smelly. Just not good. You could see the problems we got out there defensively. They ripped us apart numerous times at the back. You know, Eric Bailly coming in didn't look comfortable whatsoever. Rojo flung in there. All sorts of issues. Jose Mourinho selections. He did the classic job tonight of just mixing things up like a complete turd. I don't know what his problem is. He doesn't seem to know what his best side is. He doesn't seem to allow the team to know what the best way to play is and who their actual teammates are. There's no fluidity week to week. You can see that. Another mishmash tonight, and it showed. Arsenal looked a better team than us. United defensively frail. Creativity-wise, we barely created anything. I mean, okay, we did get the couple of goals, which is great to see. I mean, I must say, David De Gea made an uncharacteristic mistake. What are you doing, David, pal? You're better than that. But he saved our asses so many times that we can let him off the odd error here and there, because he very, very rarely does that. And to be fair, he did go on to make a couple of really outstanding saves to keep us in it. Second half especially, so not too much blame on him, but I just think United have got problems at the moment. You all know my thoughts and opinions on United at the moment. We're just a steaming pile of wank, aren't we? Why can we not just play some bloody football? We've got the players to do it. Jose's system's so bleeding negative. His mentality, his attitude, I'm just done with him now. You know, take your freaking Just for Men grey hairdo and do one, pal. I've had enough of him. I want to see somebody else have an opportunity. Take this Manchester United side, this band of merry melters, into a new direction. Somewhere we can actually maybe progress, because this style that we've got under Jose Mourinho, that is not United. This isn't United. Forget the results. Forget where we are on the table. Forget that. The actual style of United is shambolic. It's a disgrace. It's a disgrace to the history of Manchester United as a football club. We shouldn't be playing this shite football. We shouldn't be lacking in creativity in the centre of the park. I mean, Arsenal, it's not like Arsenal are one of the best teams in England at the moment. I know they have had a good season, but they're still in a transitional period now with their new manager coming in. You can't expect them to just go up there and challenge for the Premier League trophy this season. I mean, they're not too far off. They're certainly a better side than us right now. But we should be given a better account of ourselves at Old Trafford. I know we're coming up against an actual decent side this time. You know, it's not Crystal Palace or Southampton or any other proper bang average size that we don't get the results against. At least this is actually a decent team, but it's at Old Trafford. This is a must-win game. Get your cojones out, lads! I want to see them cojones! We don't have any frigging cojones in this side. I'm starting to think we should get rid of Jose and appoint Roy Keane. Just get him in there headbutting people. Do you know what I mean? Clearing house like Roadhouse, Keane House or something. Just get Roy Keane in there. Because at least he'd man these little prima donna overpaid people up. That's what I think anyway, because I think a lot of them don't show the heart and fight and desire that it takes to be a Manchester United player. But let's talk about the manager here again, because it's all Jose Mourinho's fault. He's the one selecting these managers. Nice one, Jose. You didn't select Paul Pogba for a change. Oh, has he annoyed you in your little lover's tiff or something? He's not been returning your texts. What's going on? How the hell is Paul Pogba not starting in your team? You love him even though he's garbage and doesn't perform. You select him. I can see, you know, not the same with Matic though. So basically, Jose is selecting these melters out there. At least he did some things today that I did actually see refreshing. You know, no Frankenstein's monster at the top of the pitch in the form of Romelu Lukaku. At least we did go, you know, Rashford and Martial started. Martial got another goal as well. His 8th goal of the season. He's our leading goal scorer this season. He's the player that has shown some form recently. He's been quite consistent, scoring goals, useful every time he's played, and I'm very happy for him. If only you know, some of the other losers we've got in our side could do that, could just man up and find a bit of form. Fair play to you, Jesse Lingard, to get the old 2-finger applause for your goal, your equaliser tonight, which was lovely, I must admit, because obviously they just scored 2-1, heartbreaker. What was it, 50 seconds later or something, we stuck the ball in the back of the net. He got his first goal of the season. Nice one, Jesse. Now man the hell up and let's start doing it on a regular basis, eh? You pigeon, because last season you were really good. It's like these players, they can do it. I think a lot of them are just trying to get Jose sacked out. I think that's what it is. They're not happy with the system. They're not comfortable doing the job that Jose Mourinho has asked them to do in that defensive setup that we've got. And they've had enough. Even David De Gea is making errors on purpose to get rid of the Portuguese Mr. Bean. But no, in all seriousness, everyone knows now, everybody from looking from the outside in, that Manchester United are a wounded animal right now. We can be had. Teams can beat us. We're dropping points left, right and centre. This was another one. Yeah, Arsenal are a good team, I suppose. No, you know, I suppose. But we should still be not dropping points at the rate that we have been. I mean, too many poor results in a row now. Southampton and Crystal Palace and this Arsenal game, dropping points left, right and centre. We've further increased the gap of ourselves, between ourselves and the top 4. That's not going to happen this season. No way on earth. So basically, I think what's going to happen is the board are going to have to come to the decision to get rid of Jose Mourinho and give it to somebody else. Either that or they just don't want to pay the money in order to get that the wheels in motion on that one. They just want to save the money because, you know, it may be cheaper to get rid of him later, or if he doesn't, or as soon as he gets knocked out of the Champions League or some bullshit like that. It's like, come on now. Let's look at our league position. That should be the most important thing. It's not like we're realistically going to go on and win the Champions League, is it? With this band of melters? I mean, come on. What are our chances of doing that? I mean, if he did actually go on to do it, if the board did stick with him, you know, even with all the fan backlash and how poorly the team's performing and the season that we've had, even if they did stick with him and he did go on to lift the Champions League, he'd probably be the biggest legend going, wouldn't he? But he's not going to do that. He's over the hill. He's a dinosaur, man. He's extinct, son. He's basically down there with the oil. He's very crude, so it makes sense. Do you know what I mean? He's having a mare. He's ancient. He's old school. So I think he's had his heyday. His day is done in the sun. And in my opinion, certainly not the right fit for Manchester United anyway. Maybe he could go on and be a successful manager somewhere else. But United, he's not the right fit for the club. This isn't a club that's going to support defensive style football to begin with, but certainly not if you're not capable of getting the results week in, week out and having that consistency at United of being a winning team, of having a winning mentality. He's had that in the past. He's been successful wherever he's been, but you've not done it at United, Jose, particularly this season. See you later on. You know, I've had enough of it. I really have. I think it's time we just swung the axe. I don't think the board are going to do that because I think if they were going to do that, they'd have done it already. But you can't keep dropping points like this. We're Manchester United. Do you know what I mean? We're supposed to have, we're supposed to at least be challenging. It's not like we've not invested over the years. What, the second most investment over the last 5 years? We've invested shitloads and we're still nowhere. Everybody who's tuning in right now, thanks for stopping by. If you're a gooner, fair play to you. Arsenal are probably a better team than us right now, and that sickens me to say so. I've vomited a little bit in my mouth when I said that. But fair play to you. Get your thoughts and opinions in. I'm going to go back here and make sure I've not missed any of your comments here. Alex Rincon in the house with a super chat. Thanks for stopping by, Alex Rincon. He says a draw isn't good enough. We as fans shouldn't be settling for this and expect more. This is a crap season. Bang on! You're bang on there, Alex, because this isn't good enough. I don't care who we're playing at Old Trafford with the situation the way it is right now where we're must win. Every game's a must win. We're fighting, scraping, hoping to break into the top 6. United struggling to break into the top 6. That's the situation we're in at the moment, and we're fighting and struggling and trying to do that desperately. But it doesn't necessarily seem like it. It doesn't seem like Jose's prepared to set the team up in order to go and do that. It doesn't seem like he's fighting for his job, like he's trying to win these games. Definitely not to the level that we should be. And I'm not talking about today necessarily. I'm talking about at Crystal Palace and stuff like that. Playing shitty teams at Old Trafford and setting up in a way too negative manner. Not prepared to go for it, take the game to the opposition, whoever it may be. This is United at Old Trafford. So, yeah, thank you very much for getting involved there, Alex. I totally agree with it. This season is an absolutely terrible season. I can't really remember the likes of it. Oh, the Moisey season, yeah. It's comparable to that. But Jose's third season in charge. Moisey had 8 months. This is Jose's third season in charge with hundreds of millions spent. I'm sorry, pal, but you've let us down. You've let yourself down. Hang your head in shame. Book out of that hotel finally, pal. Take all the mints you can get on the pillow because it's going to be a very cold winter for you, my son. At least that's what I hope, because I just don't want him to be a United manager anymore. I've lost my faith entirely in him. I don't believe in his system, his tactics, whatever you want to call it, his whole philosophy at the club. I don't believe in him as an ambassador for the club. I think he's quite a controversial character. I'd like to see somebody a bit more professional in there, who maybe gets the mentality of the club, who gets that the club is not prepared to just play the shite defensive football. The fans want to be entertained. We want to see attractive football. We want to see attacking football. We just want to see a bit of Manchester United. It was made famous over the years by that man, Sir Alex Ferguson, who had us playing great football, by and large. Not all the time, everybody gets some bad results, but by and large, he had us playing the United way. And nobody will ever be able to match that, of course, but we just want to see people trying to get to that level of awesomeness at the club, and we're just not doing that right now. It's so frustrating as a United fan. Feeling like shit today, by the way, guys. Really, really low. I was low anyway. After that gasher of a performance, I'm even bloody lower now. Gungshi in the house with a super chat. Thank you so much for stopping by, Gungshi. He comments and says, we only show a bit of energy and intensity when we concede a goal. Where's the consistency? Jose can't even stick with a starting 11 that works. Silva globbing it out. I totally agree with you, man. Why do we always have to drag ourselves back up from poor positions? What's that all about? You know, why can't we just start games with that sort of mentality? I mean, we did start reasonably well today, but after a few minutes, it went to shit again. It went to shit again, and we weren't going for it like we should be. Only when we go down do we really go for it. That's been the story of our season. And I'll tell you why. I've said it before. I'll say it again. It's because Jose's plan A is garbage. It doesn't work. So when we set up in this plan A fashion, unless everything goes to plan, like we just happened to get a couple of goals straight on early off because the opposition's that shit, they're representing the dog and duck at the weekend and we can actually get the better of them, then, you know, we struggle. And we always have to go behind before we start playing, before we revert to plan B, which I think plan B is the United way. Let's play football, lads. Let's try and score goals. We've got to get at them now because we're going to lose the game, so we've got to score. So we go for it, we start attacking, but until we actually go behind, we don't seem to do that. We're passing it sideways way too much, we're passing it slowly, we're slowing things down in the centre of the park. Not enough through balls, not enough runners. There's so many problems at United at the moment, and a lot of it comes from that Portuguese Mr. Bean's style of football, which, you know, should have been left with Chelsea, in my opinion. I do think that this whole tenure of management from Jose Mourinho at Manchester United now has been a complete calamity. It really has. He needs to pack his bags and go. Alex Rudd in the house with a comment. Thanks so much for stopping by. Arsenal fan in the house. Do one. No, thanks very much, Alex. You're a legend. You know I like you, pal. I was going to say I love you then, but that's a little bit strong, isn't it? No, two teams that can't keep a clean sheet. Very true. Both teams got questionable defences. That was on display again tonight. Arsenal really should have been able to hold it together. It was like, it's sort of like, I don't know, when I played you at FIFA, Alex. And, you know, I've maybe conceded a goal. And then immediately, for some reason, the scripting on FIFA makes it much easier for me to then score a goal. That's what it seemed like today. Arsenal just took their heads off the game for a moment. I think that's particularly true for that second goal. It just came really quickly. Jesse Lingard, third place. We needed that. I think that was the only way we were going to really get that goal, was just to catch them by surprise, because we were absolutely shit. We really were. I think Arsenal were looking pretty good this season, mate. If I were you, I'd be pretty happy, because I think you may well have a safe ride to top four. I know you've dropped a couple of points today, but it's no poor result, is it, at Old Trafford? Or at least it shouldn't be. Probably Arsenal coming away from this thinking, what a shit result in the end there. Couldn't get a draw against those mugs, because that's what we are at the moment. We're incapable of winning games and challenging teams. Fez Hun comments and says, I love you, Pig. I like you too. I would say I love you back, but that would hurt Alex Rudd's feelings, wouldn't it? No, thanks so much for your love there, mate. Really appreciate it. TFC HD comments, that was a classic game. Man of the match, De Gea. Fair play to you. De Gea made some incredible saves after that early blunder, and he put that right. We all know what a tremendous player David De Gea is. My biggest concern about United's players at the moment, really, generally, is that how long are we going to be able to keep hold of David De Gea with the shit show we've got going on? With this, these terrible football, not challenging for things we should be. He's a player who is considered the best goalkeeper in the world right now. Him and maybe Manuel Neuer are probably in the bracket of the best goalkeeper in the world right now. The best goalie in the world. He wants to be winning things. He wants to be challenging for all major honours. And it would be much easier for him to do that at one of Europe's major powerhouses, you know, Barca or Real Madrid or Bayern Munich or somebody like that. And if you're David De Gea, you've given a lot of years and a lot of loyalty and a lot of love to this club at Manchester United and a heck of a lot of performances as well. But there comes a time where you've got to look at your career and think, am I going to achieve all the things I set out to, all the things I want to achieve in this game? And unfortunately, if Manchester United are in this position where we're not even looking like we're going to get in the bloody top six, then surely it's only a matter of time before a player of that quality would look for greener pastures. You know, I think that's the biggest problem we've got by not qualifying for the Champions League next year, which is looking likely that we're not going to do that, is that certain players may just want to move on, and he would be a huge loss to any football team because he's the best goalie in the world. Do you know what I mean? Quetzalcoatl comments and says Jose maybe regained his trust in Bailey. I thought Bailey was very all over the place tonight. You can tell he's been out for a little while. It wasn't a comfortable performance from him. Made a fair few errors here. Positioning-wise, looked all over the place at times. And when he first came in, I thought he was going to be this new Vidic type. He looked so solid when we first saw him. He's tailed off quite a bit considerably. I mean, this season's just a complete write-off. Jose Mourinho has sucked the life out of this club. He's a Portuguese leech. He's sucked the life out of the players. He's sucked the life out of the fans. And he's sucked the life out of the club now. And the board have done that too. The owners as well, those bloody beady-eyed bastards. They've done it too. So it's not just Jose. But the fact is the players are playing with such just disdain at the moment, it seems like. There's not enough passion. There's not enough expertise, fluidity, intelligence on the ball. You know, these are supposed to be quality players. And unfortunately, they're not doing that out there. And I think a big reason for that is that complete Portuguese melter, Jose Mourinho, as you all know. Jonathan Lemon comments and says, get rid of Lukaku and sign Jamie Vardy from Leicester City next year in January. Well, I mean, could it really be much worse than that Frankenstein's little brother, Romelu? Emil Heskey's cousin, who's a bit shitter than Emil. Would it even, you know, would we, how could we get rid of him? Who's going to sign that lummox at the moment? Do you know what I mean? Who is going to sign him? Would Everton want him back? Yeah, maybe they would. But I don't think they want to pay the sort of money that we paid for him. Based on the season he's had right now, I mean, this is a real knock on a player's career. What I'd like to think is that if Jose Mourinho did leave the hot seat at Manchester United, what that would mean is that a new manager would come in, a fresh approach, the players wouldn't feel shackled by this system, and maybe the likes of Romelu Lukaku will start finding the back of the net again consistently and performing like he should. And maybe we'll play a system, a style that complements his physique, his physicality, his style of play. Maybe we'll do that. Same goes for Paul Pogba. The guy's absolutely shite under Jose Mourinho, isn't he? One of the worst players I've ever seen play for Manchester United consistently, based on the price tag as well. But I would like to think that he could just turn a corner and start playing once a new approach was in front of him. But I don't know if that's the case. I just don't think these players are quite as good as we thought they were, lads and lasses, because Jose can only do so much. You see some of the players doing silly things out there on the pitch. So, yeah, it's a dire situation at the moment. It really is. Piso8 comments and says, we're winning the Champions League. Well, you're very, very positive there and optimistic. But we all know that's a load of bollocks, don't we? If we do win this, it would be even more of a miracle than when Chelsea won the Champions League, defending 10 men against Barcelona and hanging on and, you know, putting their bodies on the line. That was an incredible way to win the Champions League. But it was also a completely defensive shite way. You know what I mean? But it was still an awesome way. You know, you can be effective and defensive and win games, and they showed that. But I think the only way we're going to win the Champions League is to do that, basically, just to rope-a-dope teams. I don't think we're capable of actually cutting teams open at that level at the moment, based on the performances we've seen when we come up against those quality teams in our own league and also in the Champions League. I think we've struggled. We have been found wanting. We have been weighed, we have been measured, and we have been found wanting. Ben Carjamin comments. Thanks for your comment, Ben. What a calamity. Ginger goblins everywhere. Oh, my days. How could it be like this? Honestly, we had that Moisey character. Thought we saw the back of him. We did see the back of him. But then somebody wearing a bloody Louis van Gaal mask who smelled a lot like David Moyes showed up and started doing some pretty horrendous things. And I think maybe we've just seen a... you know, we've just basically like in Game of Thrones with that many-faced man. That's what's going on right now. It's the same bloody man. It's David Moyes. He's just putting on a different face every couple of years. Jose Mourinho's face. That's why it's looking more haggard and aged now. It's because it was sliced off him. Thanks very much for your comment there, mate. Appreciate it. Doing it well, comments says, just like players aren't a right fit for a club, same goes for manager. Moo out. I totally agree with you, man. Paul Pogba, Alex Ferguson saw someone in him, didn't like him, didn't think he was the right fit for a club, got rid of him. Manchester United didn't have any problems for that period. He's come back to the club. Don't think he's the right fit for the club. From what we've seen in terms of attitude, in terms of passion, in terms of leadership, in terms of ability and consistency, I don't see what he brings to Manchester United. I don't think he's the right player for the club. Lukaku, as good as he was previously in his career in the Premier League for certain teams like Everton and banging in goals, West Brom, he is underperforming at Manchester United. I think that's largely down to the fact that generally Manchester United don't have these big lummoxy players up top there. We like more elegant, skillful, crafted players, more creative players, more skillful players. I'm thinking of players like, you know, Robin van Persie or Dimitar Berbatov or Ruud van Nistelrooy, that fox in a box type player. But he doesn't fit into any of those usual categories. He's just a big Jose Mourinho style lummox. Everybody who's tuning in right now, thanks so much for stopping by on the channel. I'm just feeling very low about the situation at United at the moment. Gutted how shit we are. Gutted how shit the players are. Gutted that it looks like this Silver Goblin is going to be staying around for a considerable amount of time. I don't see the board announcing anything anytime soon. I think they want to hold on, wait until the compensation package or whatever it is that they're holding on for becomes smaller. So don't lose so money. It's a financial decision at this stage. Because it can't be a footballing decision. There's no way in the right mind anybody would want to continue with this Jose Mourinho character at the moment based on how we've been doing, the investment that he's had while he's been manager, the length of time that he's had in the job. I know Manchester United are trying to be that club, and traditionally we have been that club that gives managers chances, apart from Moisey really, although he was shite for the 8 months we had him. But you can't compare that to this. Jose has had his time. He's had enough chances. He's had enough money to make this a success. Not to mention the set of players that we had before. Some of them Fergie had, some of them that, you know, are quality players. It's not like he's not had options with his managerial career at United. He has had many options, many opportunities to change things, to play in a certain way, to appease the fans, give the fans what they want in terms of a bit more attacking football, a bit more creativity, a bit more going for it, a bit more gung-ho. That's sort of what I'd like at the moment. If we are not going to be challenging realistically for the league title or challenging even to get in top four, at least give the fans a bloody show this season. At least set up attacking, at least go for it. At least try and score 5 bloody goals in every game. That's what we should be doing. Pixel Perfect comments and says there isn't an instant fix for this. That's very true, man. You know, if we get rid of Jose and get a new manager, and we still got those shitty owners in charge, we've still got some of the same shitty players stinking up the place, but it would enable a new man to at least have an opportunity and have a go at it. But that's not to say that that wouldn't work out badly. We've had a bit of a curse recently since Sir Alex has left. It's been very difficult, way more difficult than I think we even thought it would be to fill those shoes, or even fill those shoes a little bit. It's like, you know, it's like, we've gone into a shoe shop. I'm Danny DeVito when I've gone into a shoe shop, and all they've got is Andre the Giant's bowling shoes in there. Do you know what I mean? That's all they've got, and it's just not the right fit. It's not the right fit, and we're barely touching the sides with you know, living up to a manager like Sir Alex. It's just been a big struggle, a big curse since ever he's left, and I think it probably will continue to be like that for a little while because it's so difficult when some of the other teams in the league are performing the way they are, on the right track with the managers that they've got. You know, I'm looking at Chelsea now as Sam. I'm looking at Arsenal, Emery. I'm looking at Liverpool, Klopp, and Pep Guardiola at City. I'm thinking those clubs right now, they perhaps do have the right man in charge. You know, even if it's just a short-term thing, they've got the right man in charge. They're going in the right direction. They're playing the right sort of football. I think Chelsea lost tonight, by the way. But I can't really laugh because they're still way above us. That's how shit we are. So, yeah, I think it's just time that we made the change. Fox and Ram comments, in your heart and soul, you knew it, Pig. Solid draw. Absolutely filth. And we were lucky to get that in the end, mate. We really were. Everybody who's tuning in, you're a bunch of legends, by the way. Thanks so much for stopping by. Loving the caliber of comments that are coming through right now. Rafa, a.k.a. the Booty Whisperer, comments and says, lucky United scraped a point, as Flying Pig would say, Gash. You should probably go back and watch the start of this video, mate, because I'm pretty much, I have said that, I'm pretty sure, because that's exactly what it was. Ben comments, give it Giggsy till the end of the season. I totally agree with you, man. I mean, give it someone else. Maybe not Giggsy, but somebody else, I think, is in the line for it. Alex Rudd with a super chat here. Thanks so much, Alex. This result is not good for us too, since Spurs won. Yeah, Spurs won 3-0. No issues with them tonight. It's not a good result for you. You go back down to 5th. Enjoyed that. I hope that feels, you know, it feels right to be there, doesn't it? It really does. But no, you know, Spurs, fair play to them. They've got a really good side. I still think they probably will finish above you this season, Alex, but I think you've got a good chance of going for it and having a really good season, especially considering it is a transitional season after Arsene Wenger's left. There was all these question marks. Arsenal must be loving this because there was every possibility that there would be a nosedive after Wenger left. We saw it with Sir Alex. We've seen it in the past before when there's been a long period of a manager at a club like a Wenger or like a Fergie. The transitional period can be pretty difficult. And Arsenal seem to have, at least this season, got in the right direction, back on the right track. You know, a bit of investment in the summer, new style, new approach, new players. Who knows, they could be right up there challenging once again for that Premier League trophy. I truly believe that. And I think they're much closer at the moment to doing that than we are, because we have a captain who might as well be the captain of the Titanic managing the club, because he's just not, you know, he's just a shithouse, isn't he? He really is. I tried to give Jose the benefit of the doubt. I tried to put my faith in him. I tried to believe that we can come back and we can get on the right track. But when he makes such stupid selections, such stupid decisions, such stupid substitutions, and has us playing the style of football that we're playing, which is completely gash, then there's no helping the man. There's no helping him. Viraj Palmer comments and says, Pogba did absolutely nothing when he came on. Expect him to come in and turn the game on its head, but there was nothing from him. It's because there's nothing in there. There's nothing in. He's a shell of a man. He's just a mercenary. I don't know what it is, but he doesn't seem to replicate the form at United that he does for other clubs. Today, again, he was shite when he came on. I know the damage had already been done in one sense, but like you were saying, I thought, on comes Pogba now. This is his opportunity. He's not started the game. Little bit of issues behind the scenes there. He's going to come on and prove a point. He's going to come on and really mix it up and at least really get us going and prove a point and be that catalyst. But he's not got it in him. He's not got the cojones in him. He's not able to do that. He's useless. I don't think he's a United player in any sense of the word. I don't like his attitude, his mentality. I don't like his bloody hair and his dances and all that. Maybe I'm just a bit of a Scrooge or a cynic or whatever, but he just annoys me, especially with the style of play that he puts out on display every week, which is dawdling and giving the ball away more than any player I've ever known for Manchester United. He's so bad at that. And not effective enough. Yes, here and there he has an unbelievable performance. You know, I can think of a couple that he's had in a Manchester United shirt. That game, that comeback against City last season when we won 3-2. Great performance from Paul Pogba. Amazing! But I would hope if you stuck me in a Manchester United shirt, that's right, me, big old fat me, stuck me in a United shirt 50 times, that a couple of those times I'd put in a pretty decent performance because I've got great players around me, and sometimes you're coming up against teams who are out of form or just a shit side, you can get the better of them. So he has basically shined like the tiniest of diamonds in a sea of cubic zirconias. That's what he is right now. That's all he is. He's not a big sparkling gem. He's not an amazing emerald. He's just a shitty freaking cubic zirconia or something. I don't know. That was a poor analogy. They're usually better than that. Churgit Killing comments and says, Jose asking to be sacked. Yeah, you're so right. He's been asking for it for a while with his selections and with the way that we've been playing. He's so not prepared to change his beliefs and change the way that we're playing. He sets us up so negatively, and he's not prepared to go for it. That's the bottom line. He's got no cojones, as they say over there. He's got none of them. Because if he did have some, then he would see that the fans aren't happy with the style of football more than anything. He would try and change that. He'd try and give the fans what they want. Not only that, if you are in the situation we're in, why not just completely go for it? At least kamikaze it, Jose. At least go out with a bit of style. Go out swinging. Why the hell would we set up so poorly and still have this lack of creativity and still come up against teams like Palace and not be able to get the better of them, you know? He is a complete shithouse, lads and lasses. Feeling very tired today, lads, so I probably won't be sticking on too long. And that's just wiped it out of me. Every single game, it seems now, is a disgraceful. Look at the last 5 thumbnails on my videos for Manchester United blogs. They're all freaking horrible looking. There's not one smile amongst them because it's been a really bad month for Manchester United. We have lost games, we've drawn games, you know, we've put up in poor performances, derbies. You know, it's just been a complete nightmare recently. We don't have anything to look forward to at the moment because realistically, we're not winning the Champions League. We don't know if Jose's going to be in charge even for the next game. I hope he's not, but I think he will be. You know, we're not able to challenge for anything in the league this season. All we've really got is the FA Cup. That's pretty much all we've got because I can't see us really mounting a Champions League push. All we've really got is the FA Cup. And at this stage of the season, for Manchester United to be saying that all we've got is the FA Cup, it's a fucking joke. It really is. We've got a super chat here from VZ Logics in the house. Thanks very much for stopping by, VZ. Comments, missed the start of this, but Matic is shit. Twatich, Statich, Matic, how is that little bitch still on the pitch? I don't know. Jose and him must be having some sort of menage with Paul Pogba every single week. He loves him. It's a love triangle. Fellaini comes in. He holds the soap in the corner telling knock-knock jokes. It's a crazy situation because he keeps selecting these people, keeps selecting these underperformers, these underachievers. Matic is stuck in the mud. Everyone can see that. He came in, he had a couple of good games, just like every other mug that we signed at United, and then he's fallen by the wayside. He's turned into an awful player. He looks like Frankenstein's big brother. We've got Frankenstein's little brother Lukaku and Frankenstein's big brother Matic at the back there. And he's even worse. I mean, we haven't seen a good performance from him all season. He's put in about 10 really poor performances in a row. And Jose Mourinho still keeps selecting his little golden boy. Why is that? He's an idiot, this man. He doesn't play players based on form. He doesn't play players based on performances. It's just based on, I don't know, some behind-the-scenes shenanigans we don't even know about. That's the only logical explanation. Super chat here from James Arnold. Thanks so much for stopping by, James. He comments and says, the board are run by monkeys. No, that's an insult to monkeys, mate. Because I think if we had a team of monkeys at the top, they wouldn't be making such poor decisions as the people we've got heading the club at the moment, you know, from the owners down. I'd love to see a real passionate owner takeover. I'd love to see our fans, I always forget the bloody word, but you know what I mean? A set of fans by the club, and for that to be how Manchester United is run. But it's not going to happen. It's a commercial enterprise for them. They make shitloads of money out of it. They're milking money out of the club. They bought the money with debt, and they're servicing that debt. They've got to service that debt. They've got to repay that debt, and it's a huge enough club to be able to do that. But it's still, in some way at the least, it still hinders us just that little bit because maybe we can't quite compete financially with these Arab-owned clubs that are in the league right now, these Russian-owned clubs like Chelsea with the billionaire owners. We're not quite on that level anymore. I know we have spent significantly over the last few years, but the last transfer window, I think, shows just the lack of investment the club is willing to make right now, certainly in this man in charge, Jose Mourinho. So they didn't really give Jose the vote of confidence by not bringing in the players we needed. We all know we needed in the window. So I think the board, the owners, they are a big problem. I said Jose Mourinho is like a Portuguese leech, but we've got some American leeches at the club as well, sucking blood out of the club, sucking us dry, lads. Oh, right, everybody who's tuned in, thanks so much for stopping by. It's a somber mood I'm in tonight. Another result where we've dropped points. Another lackluster performance where we don't create enough. Another performance which leaves us asking more questions than before. What's going to happen at United? What happens with Jose now? Surely the board have to get rid of him now. He's dropping points left, right and centre. We'll be finishing up in a mid-table position at this stage if we're not careful. We really will be. It's got that bad. I mean, what are we, 8th in the league right now? It's a joke, man. How is he still manager? Moisey was sacked for far less in a much shorter space of time. That's my opinion. Get rid of him. Jose out. Time to swing that axe. Time to make a decision. Get anyone in. I don't care if it's Zidane's bloody cousin. Just get somebody else in. Ryan Giggs in. Give it him to the end of the season. Pochettino, rob him from Spurs, pay whatever you have to, just do something. We need a new approach, new direction, because this man is not the man for the job. He's not the right fit. Do you know what I mean? He's Danny DeVito's foot in Andre the Giant's boot. He's not the right fit for the club. Right, you can follow me on social media at Mr. Flying Pig HD. Thanks for stopping by, as ever. You're a bunch of legends. Everybody's got involved in the comments section. Leo K, Mahad, Wengi, Mohammed Shahad, God's Disciple, Guna29. Just a couple of people here that I'm going to shout out before I go. If I've not been able to respond to all of your messages, of course, I apologise. But thanks so much for getting involved in the comment section. As ever, you're a bunch of legends. Come back once this video's been published. Get your say in permanently. I'll respond to those. Thanks so much for stopping by. Smash a like on this video. Even if you're a dirty gooner in here right now laughing at us, smash a freaking like on it, you scumbag. I'll see you soon. Take it easy. Have yourselves a good one. Come on, United. Sort your freaking lives out. It's time we said goodbye to that Mr. Bedio impersonator. See you later on, Jose. No one gives a shit about you, pal.